Hello and welcome to Brisbane, the capital of Queensland. Today we're going to be travelling on an overnight train to Longreach in central West Queensland. This is a 26-hour journey and we're going to be travelling in first class. So why don't you come along and find out what it's like. In this video we'll explore the sleeper cabin and amenities, indulge in the food and drink on board, see sunset and sunrise, and climb mountain ranges en route to the Outback. A visit to Roma Street Station in Brisbane is always interesting, with a good variety of trains. Here's the Spirit of Queensland arriving from Cairns, and the electric tilt train from Bundaberg. Our train will follow the same route as the electric tilt train as far as Rockhampton, where we leave the north coastline to head inland. All up, it'll take 26 hours to cover a distance of just over 1,300 kilometres. Most long distance trains, including ours, depart from platform 10 at Brisbane's Roma Street Station. The Spirit of the Outback is already in the platform, although not yet available for boarding. There's not a lot of space in the sleeper cabins, so it's best to only bring a small bag on board. Luggage check-in is located at one end of the platform. If you're travelling in a sleeper, you can check in up to 2 suitcases, each weighing a maximum of 20 kilograms. Economy passengers can check in 1 suitcase. Luggage check-in closes 30 minutes before departure. Today's train will be led by Loco 2158, built by Commonwealth Engineering in 1979. It'll be assisted by 2473. We'll get a better look at these locos later. Even though the route is electrified as far as Rockhampton, we're being hauled by diesels. Electric locos in Queensland are mostly used to haul heavy coal trains. Today's train comprises a combined power van and luggage car, a crew car, a sleeping car with single berths, 2 sleeping cars with twin berths, a restaurant, a lounge car with a cafe, and 2 economy cars. We'll look inside them later. You might have noticed we're missing car C. I believe it's undergoing maintenance. It can get quite humid in Brisbane, so if you need to escape the heat, there is an air-conditioned passenger lounge, which also has charging points. Boarding commences about 20 minutes before departure. Let's get on board. I'm in a single sleeper in Car A. These carriages were built in the 1980s by Commonwealth Engineering and reconfigured in 2015. This carriage has 10 sleeping compartments as well as a shower and a toilet. Here's my cabin, number 5. Inside, you'll find a room key, a welcome letter with your allotted meal times, a blanket and an amenity pack. We've still got a bit of time before departure, so let's take a closer look around the cabin. Each sleeper contains a wash basin with a vanity mirror. There are a number of small storage areas and a bin down here. There's space to hang clothes in here. Small suitcases can fit here. Let's open the blinds. This little fold-up table is well located for charging your phone. You can see it's a bit dated, but it looks comfortable enough. We depart on schedule. A crew member comes through the train to explain what you need to know, such as locations of toilets, showers and the restaurant, as well as the bed turn-down procedures. For the next 3.5 hours, we'll be travelling up the Sunshine coastline, picking up passengers at a few stops along the way. Now that we've got our key and are underway, let's go check out the toilets and bathroom. I think this used to be a crew area. There's a miniature lounge area here, so if you're in a cabin that's going backwards and you prefer to go forwards, you could just sit here. Let's keep going. So this is the shower, pretty compact. So you've basically got your soap. Just remember to bring your towel with you. I think that's the crew quarters in there. And here's the toilet. Hey. Basin. So it's pretty basic, but has what you need, I guess. We seem to be stopped at a red signal, but why not have a look at the amenity kit? So we get this, get a little face towel, some lip balm, hand cream, hand sanitizer. This is a blow up neck pillow. And finally, we've got a blanket.
Prior to you boarding the train, a welcome letter was placed in your room. On the front of this explains your meal allocations. We're having afternoon tea, and a further announcement will be made once that's ready to commence. We've got 2 service cars located centrally on board. We have the Tuckerbox Restaurant, and we also have the lounge car there behind carriage D. All your meals will be served in the Tuckerbox Restaurant. The lounge car is now open for your convenience, serving a wide variety of food and beverage items for you to enjoy. Just a reminder, we are cashless at Queensland Rail, so if you'd like to make a purchase on board, could you please bring your physical credit or debit card with you, as sometimes we require a card to be inserted into our terminal. Thank you and good afternoon.
The information booklet says we can also use the water basin for drinking water, so this water is safe to drink. There are also drinking fountains at the end of the carriage. Our next stop will be Caboolture.
Your toilets are located at the rear of each carriage, but if you were in car A, it is at the front of the carriage. We do have a galley which is situated in front of car F and behind the dining car. Please note that it is an offence to smoke on board all Queensland Rail trains. It's also an offence to consume your own alcohol. Alcohol may be purchased from our club lounge car at a reasonable price. We will be making lots of stops along the way where we can, and we will let you know if there is time for a comfort stop. But otherwise, please sit back, relax and enjoy your journey with us. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask any staff member. Thank you for your attention and please enjoy your trip.
You hang out these signs to let the crew know to make your bed or return it to a seat in the morning. Oops, bit of a typo.
In carriages A, B and D, your afternoon tea service is now commencing in the Tuckerbox Restaurant. Fresh scones, jam and cream, tea and coffee. Please make your way through and enjoy.
After walking through the other sleeping cars, you'll find the dining car called the Tuckerbox Restaurant. The staff seat me with other passengers. This is actually a temporary dining car, as the usual carriage is out for maintenance. The scones are fresh out of the oven. Yum! We're also offered tea or coffee. I went for tea, Devonshire style. This afternoon tea is a lovely welcome on board, and along with all main meals is included in sleeper fares. Right behind the restaurant car is the Shearer's Rest lounge car. The lounge car is only available for sleeper passengers. Between meals, you can purchase snacks and drinks from one end of this carriage. Economy passengers can also buy food here, but must return to their seats to eat it. There's a range of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks on offer. Seeing as I'm in Queensland, I decide to try a tropical pale ale they're promoting. Cheers to a great journey.
Welcome to Nambour, on our right-hand side, travel.
We're now on the Sunshine Coast and we'll have 10 minutes to stretch our legs on the platform. It's a good time to get a proper look at our locos. Even though it might add to the total travel time, I really enjoy these opportunities to hop off and have a look around. So I found out that this was originally an operational area used by staff, but it's no longer needed as those facilities are now provided in the crew car in front of us. Check out the old cane railway bridge right next to us. The temperature in the rooms is quite cool, whereas the temperature here is just right. In addition, I'm now facing forward and can enjoy the views of the Sunshine Coast hinterland. Mount Coolum is an ancient volcanic dome created 26 million years ago. There's no Wi-Fi, but the scenery is entertaining enough. We're currently on the principal regional freight and passenger line in Queensland, the North Coast Line, which runs from Brisbane all the way to Cairns. We'll leave the line in Rockhampton. If you want to see a more detailed look at this route, be sure to watch my electric tilt train video. The sun begins to set as we press further north. There are remnants of an old viaduct here. This sign is a bit surprising, as most trains are fitted with retention toilets, but not this particular carriage. It seems that your business flushes directly onto the tracks, as you can hear when the flap opens.
Very shortly this train service will be arriving at Gympie North station. We will be at Gympie North for approximately 5 minutes, if you wish to stretch your legs.
Gympie North is the northernmost point for inter-urban services on the Sunshine Coastline. The town of Gympie is about 4 kilometres away and connected by a free transfer bus. The original Gympie railway station is much closer to the town centre, but was bypassed in 1989 when this line was electrified to avoid a very steep grade. Birds come to greet the train because some of the train drivers feed them. How's that for a sunset? We continue up the North Coast Line. Once we reach Rockhampton, we'll head inland over the Drummond Range towards Longreach. Well, as you can see, the sun has set and our next stop will be Maryborough West. Radio. Well, I've changed to something a little bit warmer and I'm all set for dinner, but dinner's still an hour away, so why don't we get a pre-dinner drink? I just realised there's a reading lamp here. I'm going to hang this out now. I've gone for a sparkling wine. I think my travelling companions might have had a few pre-dinner drinks too. It's time for dinner in the Tuckerbox Restaurant. If you're travelling solo, you'll normally be seated with another passenger. You get a complimentary drink with your 3-course meal. We start with lemon myrtle damper. It might not look impressive, but it was perfectly cooked, served with chive butter, and was an ideal start for a train heading to the Outback. For my main, I chose the smoky beef brisket. The creamy mashed potato was delicious. I choose a red wine to accompany it. The gateau cake on the menu wasn't available, with a chocolate brownie offered instead, which is what I go for. This is followed by tea or coffee. Back to my room. Now that my bed's down, there's not much room to move. You can't even open the door all the way. Well, it certainly looks comfortable.
Now on the approach to Bundaberg station. All those customers leaving us at Bundaberg, please prepare to do so. Only cars F and G will have access to the platform. For those customers leaving us here at Bundaberg, we do hope that you had a good trip with us. We look forward to seeing you again. One of many Queensland Rail travel services. Welcome to Bundaberg. When we do leave Bundaberg, the lights down in our seating cars will be turned off. If you wish to continue to read, there is a light above your head. Please make sure you keep the aisles free as staff regularly make their way through. Please also make sure that you're in your allocated seat. If you are leaving us through the evening, that way we'll be able to find you. Thank you.
Bundaberg has a humid subtropical climate and is well known for a major distillery where they make Bundaberg rum. Right, so my bed is made, and you know what that means. Is it wrong to wear airline pyjamas on a train? Well, we are going to the spiritual home of Qantas, Longreach, so I think we can get away with it. So once your bed's made up, the room is a lot more compact and restrictive to move around. I've heard a few passengers say they've found it a bit difficult, but the bed's pretty comfortable. So, good night. I wake in Rockhampton, where we stop to change drivers and direction. From here, we head west. Time for a shower before sunrise. The pressure was good and the water was hot. I wasn't quite quick enough to beat sunrise, but those orange hues are still pretty cool. We're moving again after a brief stop at this refuelling point. We're now in the central highlands of Queensland, about 270 kilometres west of Rockhampton. The train is now being hauled by a single loco, which we'll get a look at later. Only a single loco is required because of the lower line speeds, whereas between Brisbane and Rockhampton, 2 locos are needed to maintain speeds on the gradients. Emerald Railway Station is made from timber in Federation style and dates from 1900. The original station was built in 1899, but unfortunately burned down within a year. So I'm showered, the staff have made up my room, and we're now heading west.
Good morning, customers. This announcement is for the attention of our guests travelling in carriages A, B and D. The 7 o'clock breakfast sitting will be commencing in approximately 15 minutes. Just a reminder, if you are in the 6 o'clock dinner sitting, you are in the 7 a.m. breakfast sitting.
I'm on the 8:15 a.m. breakfast service, so still got a little while to wait. I'm a pretty light sleeper and I sometimes struggle to sleep on trains, but this trip was pretty smooth. The tracks were really good and the ride quality was good. So I slept reasonably well. I did wake up a few times, but overall I was happy with the amount of sleep I got. I think it's time for a coffee in the lounge car. It's not barista made, but they do have a coffee machine on board. I didn't see this officially promoted anywhere, but tea and coffee was complimentary for sleeper passengers. The track is a bit rougher and louder west of Emerald. Anakie is a request stop. Today some passengers are alighting, which is why we're slowing down. Anakie is one of 4 small towns which comprise the Sapphire Gemfields. We pass a cemetery and travel through a number of state forests. It's starting to feel like the Outback. Time for breakfast, which starts with tea or coffee and juice. I've gone for the hot breakfast with scrambled eggs. Simple but tasty. During breakfast, the train stops in the small town of Boguntungan, which is on the other side of the train. In the distance we can see the Drummond Range, which the train is about to climb. The Drummond Range rises to 535 metres above sea level, with the curves affording us great views of the rest of the train. The Drummond Range was formed more than 250 million years ago when compression occurred, folding the sediments and uplifting the terrain. We average between 20 and 25 kilometres per hour through these curves, which are some of the tightest on the Queensland rail system. The curves avoided the need for major earthworks during construction. The top of the range is known as Hannam's Gap, in honour of Willoughby Hannam, who surveyed the railway line. The rest of the journey should be a lot less work for our loco. Let's take a look at the 2 economy sitting cars at the rear of the train. This divider separates sleeper and economy passengers, while allowing staff to serve both. Carriage F has 1x2 seating, which is great if you're travelling solo. Good legroom, although still not sure I'd fancy making the 26-hour journey in these seats. There's a decent sized tray table, as well as an overhead reading lamp and a pull-down footrest. The seat has reasonable recline. As we're arriving in the town of Alpha, let's prepare to get off. Alpha is a service centre for the surrounding pastoral properties and travellers on the Capricorn Highway. We're making a quick stop in Alpha, a town of 560 people, about 1,050 kilometres northwest of Brisbane. The driver will sound the horn when we need to reboard. If you look closely, you'll be able to spot termite mounds in the scrub. We're travelling about 60 k's per hour, so I've slowed down this footage. To complete our tour of the train, let's check out the rear carriage. Interestingly, this carriage has 2x2 seating rather than 2x1. No one has been allocated these seats. I'm guessing it's only used when the train is busier, or perhaps for passengers who book shorter segments. One of the friendly crew told me to come to the back of the train for a great viewpoint. No, not the men's toilet. Out the back window. These toilets seem a bit more modern than those in my carriage, and it's a retention toilet. Each economy car has 2 toilets. Interestingly, one is labelled men and one for women. We're now coming into the town of Jericho, but as no passengers are booked to join or leave our train, it's straight through. That's a tamping machine, which ensures the ballast under the tracks is level and durable. There's the old station, which is now a post office. And here's the modern station. Jericho is home to about 230 people. The line we're traversing is the Central Western Railway, which extends 863 kilometres west from Rockhampton to Winton. Construction began in 1867 and continued in stages, reaching Emerald in 1879, Longreach in 1892, and then with a further extension to Winton in 1928. You used to have to catch 2 separate trains when travelling from Brisbane to Longreach, and it took 2 nights. First, the overnight Capricornian from Brisbane to Rockhampton, followed by the Midlander, which connected Rockhampton with Winton. In 1993, the 2 trains were combined, saving passengers from having to change trains while also catering to increasing tourism in Western Queensland. The new service only ran as far as Longreach. We follow the Capricorn Highway for much of this journey, so called because it parallels the Tropic of Capricorn. This is a fatigue zone for drivers.
Service is now approaching Barcaldine station. We will be at Barcaldine for approximately 10 minutes or so. So if you would like to stretch your legs, please feel free to do so. How far away is that?
The train makes 2 stops here. The first so that the luggage can be removed while under the railway station canopy. We are being hauled by a different loco than we started with in Brisbane. The locos are normally changed in either Rockhampton or Emerald. This is the same class of loco as one of the two that hauled us up the coast. With wide, tree-lined streets, Barcaldine is referred to as the Garden City of the West, but it's best known for the Tree of Knowledge. This monument recognises the town's significant role in the Australian Labor movement and the birth of the Australian Labor Party. Barcaldine was a focal point for the Great Shearers' Strike of 1891. The Tree of Knowledge is a ghost gum, but sadly it was poisoned in 2006, with this monument opening in 2009. These represent protruding shear blades. As soon as we depart, it's time for the final meal on board, lunch, comprising a main and dessert. I choose the chicken wrapped in prosciutto, with sparkling white as my complimentary drink. For dessert, I opt for the passion fruit pavlova. I won't get into the debate as to whether this meringue-based dessert is Kiwi or Australian. This is complemented by tea or coffee. I go for coffee. We're now in cattle country. So as we're approaching Longreach, what did I think of the spirit of the Outback? This train, in a single first-class sleeper, costs I think 427 Australian dollars. Now that is really good value, considering it includes all your meals. The food is really good. You get a nice room. Yes, it's a bit dated, but it's still comfortable and it's a certain charm to it. You've got showers, all your wants and needs pretty much catered to. Beautiful scenery along the way, from lush rainforests to the mountains, and now out into the Outback. So I think this is a great train and really good value, and I recommend giving it a go. It looks like this could become one of the last government-run sleeper trains in Australia, with the New South Wales government looking to phase out sleeper trains on the XBTs. So that means Queensland will be the only state to offer government-run sleeper trains. We run non-stop through Ilfracombe. The railway reached here in 1891. The Spirit of the Outback runs twice weekly in each direction.
The club car and the lounge is now closed. This is to prepare for our arrival into Longreach this afternoon, where this service will terminate. On behalf of the catering crew, we hope you've enjoyed your journey on the Spirit of the Outback, and we look forward to seeing you next time you travel. Thank you and good afternoon.
In our preparation of getting ready to Longreach Station in approximately 20 minutes, could I please ask if you could please place your key to your door in the key lock outside, as a staff member now will be coming through to collect your keys to lock them away in our preparation for our arrival into Longreach Station.
I imagine solar farms do pretty well out here. This farm comprises about 53,000 solar modules. An emu with chicks. That's the Bureau of Meteorology weather station. And here's Longreach Airport. This is where the Queensland and Northern Territory aerial services, now Qantas, spread its wings. You can see Qantas's original hangar at the Qantas Founders Museum, and heritage aircraft including a Lockheed Super Constellation and a Boeing 747. It's quite something to see a jumbo jet parked in the middle of the Outback.
welcome to Longreach. We will be making 2 stops here at Longreach, first for our luggage, and then we'll pull forward for all customers to disembark. On behalf of all the team, have a wonderful holiday out here, or welcome home. We enjoyed having you, and we look forward to seeing you again on one of our many Queensland Rail travel services.
The onboard crew are based in Brisbane, so we'll return with the train tomorrow. There's a triangle here to allow the consist to turn around. This ensures, for example, that car A is always near the front of the train. We arrive about 15 minutes ahead of schedule. There are staff waiting at the station to start cleaning carriage windows as soon as we arrive.
See ya.
I return to the station later in the day after checking into my accommodation. Longreach Station is heritage listed. The main building dates from 1916, although the railway reached here in 1892. After turning on the triangle, the spirit of the Outback is all set for tomorrow morning's return trip to Brisbane, which I was too slow to capture. If you visit Longreach, don't miss a sunset cruise along the Thompson River by paddle wheeler. Longreach is named after the long reach of this river. Other must-sees include the live show at the Stockman's Hall of Fame.
Black and tan 2-year-old Kelby dog smashed the record, making a bit over $30,000 for the one dog. Hell of a lot of money.
And of course, the Qantas Founders Museum. I'll leave you with some aerial views of Longreach on my flight back to Brisbane. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. See you soon.